have such sights to show you.
Don't end Armageddon.
We're going to hell!
Like I said in the Pumpkinhead review, the 80s awarded a lot of opportunities to those who probably wouldn't have gotten it in any other decade. And that goes without saying for today's movie, because this movie, 976 Evil, was directed by Robert Englund, aka Freddy Krueger himself. This is one of only 2 movies he directed. And this is an interesting one, and I'm glad that I have this guy on to talk about it with me. He is the current Why We Love Horror singles champion. He's also one half of the tag team champions alongside myself. It's Eric Moreno. Eric, welcome.
Oh, happy to be here. 80s. What a decade. I wasn't there for it, but I've heard good things.
Neither was I, but I've heard things too. But yeah, 976 Evil, like I said, directed by Robert Englund. We all know who he is as an actor. Like Freddy Krueger, he was in he's been in a lot of stuff. Like he was in a version of the Phantom of the Opera, which I've been itching to try and watch, but I've just never gotten
I think
around.
Same year as this movie, or around the same time frame, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, definitely late 80s from what I remember. And it tells the story of a bullied youth who discovers that through a hotline, because the 80s, you see, he can contact a demonic spirit, and it goes about as well as you might think. So, Eric, what did you initially think of this?
Well, initially, I was very interested in watching this movie. I think Robert Englund is a fantastic actor, of course. So some actors are really good directors. You can see George Clooney, Clint Eastwood. I'm forgetting somebody else. Robert Redford, of course. May he rest in peace. So the other Robert Englund decided, I'm going to make a movie. And you would expect of an actor of his caliber and his style would be a crazier movie, and on premise alone you would think it's crazy, but I didn't think it was that crazy at all, and I wanted to be crazier. I mean, to be more blunt, I wanted to be more interesting, which I was interested going into it, and then watching the movie, potential not met. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think my biggest problem, like you said, is that you could do so much with a horror hotline. Like if you think about it, like in the late 80s, these hotlines were everywhere. Like we're both like huge wrestling fans. It was like, Mean Gene Okerlund's hotline and the WCW hotline. So these hotlines were very late 80s, early 90s. You just couldn't escape them. And so you have like this dial a number where you could get these horror scopes, which in reality act as like kind of like the anime Death Note. You could do a lot with something like that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. There's 2 versions of this movie that I would wanted to see instead of the movie we got. Either I mean, it takes a long time to build up, and when it builds up to something, it doesn't really amount to much. But either build up the bullied kid relationship with the phone line, which he doesn't even get until the halfway through the movie, and when he does, he immediately goes crazy with it. I mean, he does, not the movie itself. The movie's okay, maybe less than okay, but he just right away, I'm gonna murder somebody and then go crazy, be possessed, and all that. But the concept alone of the phone should maybe tell you that it's more involved in the story, which I didn't think it was. It just gave him instructions. I mean, earlier in the movie, when you see and these scenes, I actually like those scenes, remind me the most to Nightmare on Elm Street. I think the atmosphere in those scenes where the people are being chased and I mean, it's a bit out there, but the way they are surrounded by phone lines and a lot of phones ringing, that's kind of creepy. And then those places kind of exploding and setting on fire. The 2 people we don't know, but they died like that at the beginning. And I would think it would be more involved like that, but the movie doesn't do much with that. Like it doesn't even come up in the climax of the movie that the phone is not important. Which, to be fair, should it be? I don't know.
Well, it kind of reminded me. The main character kind of reminded me of Carrie a little bit. Like it, and it also doesn't help things that his mom is just like basically like Carrie White's mom, like even down to the "you shall be stricken down." I'm like, okay, we're warming up Brian De Palma's nachos. I see.
Oh yeah, I was thinking both of Carrie because of the mom. I totally agree with that, and also Christine. Mostly the bully kid, the
Oh,
bullied kid. I mean, like it's not how you say it. He's not that much of a nice guy, to be fair. Like I didn't care for him much. I think his cousin is a lot more interesting as a protagonist, which to be fair, he kind of is because he's the kind of guy, the guy who has to save him at the end, sorta. But the bullied kid is kind of an asshole at the beginning. He's very a little like he's a little bit creepy. It's understandable. He could be. He's not homeschooled. He goes to a high school like his cousin, but he's very stunted socially, and obviously he's bullied for it. He says some random things, and then immediately his first action is not against the people who bullied him, which would make him a little bit more relatable. He immediately kills the girl who was nice to him, who only left because he was a little creep who stole her panties. And
yeah,
Christine is a little bit like that. I mean, the Christine, a much better movie, by the way, of course.
yeah.
Also makes more of an effort to make us care and see his development as like a starting to turn into a bad guy. And I don't think the hoax is the name of the kid in this one. I don't think we get him involved with the phone line or with the evil spirit or whatever, and going to the corruption in a gradual sense, in a more interesting way. It just happens, and we don't care about the kid too much because of it, I would say.
I'm not a huge fan of any of these characters, to be honest. I think I felt the most for the cousin, but like even then, like it's kind of hard because like their relationship kind of reminded me of like the relationship in Chronicle, the Josh Trank movie, where it's like they're cousins, they're related to each other, but they don't really like speak to each other after a certain point. And then when they both get powers, they get closer, but then power goes to the head and it all goes completely south. But I feel like here they don't even make an attempt to like make the cousin relationship work at all. It just feels like they're just related just because the plot demands it, I guess. I don't know.
I think it kind of made the effort to it because they allude to it at the very end when he's talking, uh, when he's trying to bring him out of his possession. Like, oh, remember we're going to across, how do you say it? They were going to travel across the U.S., I guess, in their motorcycles, picking up babes. That's what that line he uses to remind him, oh, you're still you, not you, the demon you. But that's such a I don't even remember them talking about the cross country trip that we're going to take. I think he just mentions it when the cousin is trying to hook up with his girlfriend. And the other hints of the relationship that they might be like, if you're going to use the the crazy religious mother, make more of an effort for both of them to be. I don't want to say victims, but like victims of that. And in that way is how they are get along fine. The other thing I remember them. Oh, okay, they get along fine. Is well, the most important thing I would say is when he saves him from the bullies. Like he cares for him a little bit, and then as I mentioned it a little bit earlier, he turns evil very quickly, and that's he left him around 30 minutes left of the movie. They don't interact a lot after
No.
it, so I don't feel that the cousin is super. It's more angry than like, oh no, I gotta say my cousin. I don't know, something like that. It's not a very well developed movie, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
No, I got what you're saying there. The stock bullies as well. Like you can tell they're bullies because they sit in a dark room with Clockwork Orange movie posters in the background.
Yeah, that's the type of bullies I don't know. I would be those bullies. I don't know. They have many cool posters on their walls. Like I think I
Maybe we get
saw
along
for
with them. Who knows? But it just
it's something weird about the 80s. Like some movies in the 80s considered that type of dressing that they had as more like counterculture, and in other movies they are the bullies. It's odd. They are. I don't know which state the movie is, but it reminds me of like the have you seen Valley Girl with Nicolas Cage?
no, I have not.
So in that movie, he dresses like them a little bit. He's a Hollywood guy, and I mean he lives in Hollywood. It's not like he's an actor. He lives in Hollywood in the urban side, and of course the
Okay.
other character is the Valley Girl, so she's totally different to him, and that's the type of style that these bullies had. I mean, a little bit more rock, a little bit more like the popular rock bands of the time. They are not jocks. I don't remember seeing any jocks at all in the movie, but not that they have to be. That's a tangent. Move on. Sorry.
No, there's not. There's just like the stock like punk kind of characters. Like everyone's just walking out of like an Alice Cooper or a Black Sabbath music video or something.
Oh, yeah, it will be something like that. Yeah, punk was the word I was looking for. Yeah, but the other movie, they Hollywood type.
I think my favorite part of the movie though is the ending where everything finally culminates and Hoax finally turns into his final form, for lack of a better like name for him. But it doesn't really matter all of that much because there's not really much to get behind, as we have addressed. Nice design. I think the design honestly looks kind of threatening, but again, it doesn't really. It's a day late and a dollar short, I guess.
Oh yeah. Like the whole build-up is it. I mean, it does kind of go crazy. Like I appreciate that the hell design inside the house was more hell frozen over. That's what he says. That's what he says in the movie. Like, oh, you see, hell froze over. So that was kind of clever, I guess, and a lot different than your usual fire. I mean, at the end they do go into the fire and all that. So I guess that was kind of clever. The other thing about that scene is that we are supposed to care a lot about the journalist and the principal. I think she was the principal. I'm pretty sure. But the lady who was with the with the journalist, they right away get along. But they do have decent chemistry, I guess. But that's the only reason they are together. She saves him even from an earlier scene, and we're supposed to believe they are super friendly right now, even though we have only seen them in a scene together maybe twice. And we're supposed to care about her as if she has a special relationship with the kid who is now attacking her. But we never saw them interact. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know why they chose her as the damsel in distress in this case.
Yeah.
I mean, too many survivors, I guess. I don't know.
I think ultimately we both can agree there's a lot that could have been done here that just wasn't really done. The potential is like far greater than the end result. And I think what I will say to kind of close things out, and I think you'll agree with me on this one, this demands to be remade. Like tweak it for modern audiences. You can make it like hashtag like not hashtag evil, but like
I don't want to see that. I mean, with the hashtag. No.
Make it more clever than that, obviously, but do something similar to that, or just remake it and have it set in the 80s and do the hotline thing. Do something like that. I feel like if A24 or Neon, like I talked about in the Prince of Darkness review, I feel like if A24 or Neon got their hands on this, I feel like they could do something pretty unique with this. I mean, make it talk to me, but with a phone. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with with any movie with a little bit of potential and not as great execution. Just probably why we should bring on more about Robert Englund's direction. I don't know how involved he was in the script. I haven't looked into that, but the direction itself is kind of, I mean, first timer, I would guess. Like there's some inspiration in his work. Like you can see he takes a little bit of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise on a couple of the scenes and then the design. I'm sure he had a great team working on it. He has decent production design and makeup and all that. But I don't know if it's censorship or budget or whatever, but most of the kills, for example, are the best kill in the movie is not seen fully. It's when the demon kid pushes a guy into the trident that's on the top of the theater. I'm pretty sure that that's the only like violence that stood up to me, like because a lot of the characters they get that we're supposed to maybe root for their death, like maybe the mother and the main bully, happens off screen. The fact of the mother getting eaten by the cats, I'm sure is fine, but like that deserves a little bit more creativity with the way they die, and maybe that's a little bit of censorship budget or the director because it's not a particularly amazing looking movie. Like not that it has to be, but it's not stunning on a visual level, I guess, or mainly memorable. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to remember how it looks like in a couple of weeks. Like if I have to see a screenshot of the movie and I somehow don't remember, I'm not going to pull that it's from that movie because it looks like any other generic 80s movie, which is the same because Robert Englund has worked with a lot of great directors and cinematographers. I'm pretty sure he could have picked up more, which is why it's a shame that he didn't direct anything else after this. So that's the interesting part of the movie is that Robert Englund's directing this one, and it's a cool concept, but he doesn't do much with it. And I'm guessing he didn't have a chance to do another one, or he didn't choose to. That would be a good question to ask him if I ever see him like again.
So, just
But
for the sake of context, and just for to close things out, Robert Englund directed one other movie in his career in 2008, a movie called Killer Pad, and
I didn't know
it
that.
looks like it's about a house, like something happening in a house. I don't know. The reviews aren't super great.
No, I didn't know he had another movie. So if this one I didn't have a super great time finding it, so it's not super well known. I'm get a Killer Pet. 414 people have seen it on Letterboxd. That probably tells you how known it is. That's why I didn't know about the movie.
Yeah,
But sure,
exactly.
he had another shot and it wasn't a horror movie, so I don't know. Or is it? I know it is a horror movie. The poster is very 2000s teen comedy, so that's why I didn't clock that it was a horror movie. Oh, it stars a guy from Mean Girls. I like that guy, Daniel Frances, who plays Damien in Mean Girls.
And I did
He
just
must be
stumble
fun.
onto this. 976 Evil actually has a sequel,
Ah, it
976
does. Yeah.
Evil 2. Robert Englund was not involved in this, it looks like, from what I'm seeing here. It was directed by Jim Wynorski, who directed Chopping Mall.
No, that's Shopping Mall is it's the better version of this movie. I mean, not that they're the same, but Shopping Mall is a crazy concept that actually does the crazy stuff that you're supposed to do in a movie with that premise. It's a good B movie, and 976 Evil should be a good B movie, and it isn't. And I mean, I don't know if we want it to be a B movie like with great creativity, or or like a proper we're supposed to care about the characters movie, and it also didn't do that. They didn't do either. That's why it's so disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny because Austin Pez Howell actually brought up Chopping Mall when we were talking about Night of the Creeps. So I feel like this is the universe telling me to finally watch Chopping Mall. But that's
Ah,
another
it's a lot of
story.
fun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Another
do
story
recommend it.
for another time. But I pass it off to all of you. What did you think of 976 Evil? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to read what you have to say. Eric, thank you so much for joining me. I know you are swamped with defending two titles, and I help. So, do you have anything coming up?
Well, yeah, next title defense should be a month from now, I guess. It's going to air. You watch out for that one. Watch out for the other matches. The match where the road to our team's title match is also a good one if you want to check out those matches. Outside of that, more recently, I did talk about Guillermo del Toro movies at Middle Earth Media with Malcolm and Rankin. That's a fun conversation with Chad Webb and Malcolm. And you can find me at ASAD or CWT, Lights Out, and all that. All the places you can find Jacob. I'm mostly there, I think.
And yeah, all the links down below. Go check them out over there. As far as this channel goes, ScaryMania 6 is almost done. Just a couple more left. And to round things off, I'm going to be taking a look at what I'm going to be calling the 1980s answer to American Psycho.